Hi everyone, welcome to week 4. I know I sent out an email to you, so some of this is going to be a little bit redundant, and so I won't keep you long in this video. But I really need you to be thinking ahead. For this week, you have one forum. It's on an article from the book that starts on page 36. It's slightly different. Some people really like this article, but it makes you think outside of the box. How does this relate to discourse community? How does it relate to communication? How does it relate to language as a whole? I strongly suggest that you consider watching this video because it's also about language and who is heard and who is silenced, which is an issue with language. And there's this article that's 9 paragraphs long. It's really short and it goes with some of the things we've already read. So if you haven't read it yet, I suggest you do. I'm going to go back here because if you haven't read Delpit, I keep trying to push this Delpit on you. Boy, it might be up here in this one. Suggested readings. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Strong, colorful. Where is Delpit? Well, I'm going to find Delpit in here and I'm going to put it back in to the suggested readings because I really want you to read Delpit if you haven't yet. So, looks short, looks easy, all you have is this one forum. However, next week, at the very beginning of the week, Monday of, not this week, but next week, see, Monday, 2-5, you need a full draft of a whole essay, meaning an introduction, 4 body paragraphs, and a conclusion, minimum, to use for your peer review. So you have to write it during this week, or at least I'd strongly suggest you write it during this week. You're in control. And this is a problem that's related to language or discourse community. It can be anything that's came up. Like in the previous week's reading, it's about how hard it is to write to an academic audience, or how students can feel unprepared, or how students can feel silenced, or how students can feel coerced or oppressed about writing to an academic audience. You want to come up with some idea that you can relate to, that you think matters. Then you want to go through all of the sources and see what they have to say from that angle. So if I was going to say that writing to an academic audience can be oppressive, I'd definitely use Bartholomew, because Bartholomew says over and over again that the danger is becoming appropriated by the language versus appropriating it for your own use. And Elbow talks about it making people feel meek and unsure of themselves, like they're not letting their whole selves out because they're trying to conform to what they think something is. You could definitely use the hook stuff, but you'd be saying it from a different point of view, right? Like, she's not talking about how it affects you writing to an academic audience, not directly. But you could use her in there. The key is to find, out of everybody we've used so far, there's like 6, 7 sources that you should have on your reading log. You should have 6, 7 sources, and you pick 3 or 4 or 5 that you want to use together to make that argument about a problem to do with language. So, if it were me, I would get this done quickly. This is not a long article. I'd read it, I'd get it out of the way, boom, done with that. Then pick that topic and start reading and picking your sources for that next paper, because you're going to turn it in the Tuesday of this week or the Monday of this week for peer feedback. And you can send it to me as many times as you want between this week and next to get my feedback on it. But the sooner you get started, the better. There's lots of videos that you can look ahead. The Blue Week is one we're on, but you can look ahead. I have loads of resources. Traits of a Strong and Weak Synthesis Essay, a video on essay expectations, samples, a video on formatting for MLA, the rubric that this paper is evaluated by, and so is the next synthesis essay, a video on how to use that rubric. So, you have one tiny, tiny little assignment. find the bigger thing and look at all the extra sources and do some reading this week. Plan wisely so you don't have all of it due next week. Spread it out so you can do some this week and some next week. Email and text me with questions. I'm here for you.